This is Juan with Colt Buildings and Contractors. Just want to give you guys a little educational tutorial today in regards to what we can service and what we can do. So today I want to talk a little bit about the planning and development phase, explain a little difference between architectural designs, structural foundational plans, MEPs, and how that all works and why you need plans and why you need to get your financing in order and what order does it come. And this could be a very confusing process in regards to building barndominium or a custom home. Okay, so starting off from usually ground zero. Some people know exactly what they want, some people don't have a clue what they want. Everything's gonna be determined basically off your budget. So it is very, very important that you guys are speaking with a lender. You need to figure out if this is gonna be a cash deal or if this is gonna be a finance deal, or is this gonna be a portion of both, okay? So basically, let's talk about financing. There's a lot of different type of loans out there that you can get. You can get a VA loan, which usually requires 0% down if you're military, or even 5%. You can do an FHA loan, which is 3.5% down or 5% down. You can do a conventional loan, which is typically 20% down, which means 20% down or 5% down on the total loan, okay? So what they'll do is they'll go over some certain things like your credit score, your debt to income ratio. They're gonna get some background information on you or your spouse. You can have a co-signer. Typically what you're gonna wanna shoot for is a construction to perm one-time close loan. That is what you're shooting for. And yes, you can wrap the land and the house together. Okay, it's called a wrap mortgage. So you can take the land and take the house and put it all underneath one umbrella, which is called a wrap mortgage. Okay, so understanding mortgages, and if you need some help, we have lenders, preferred lenders that cover all 50 states of the US, and they can get you financing. Okay, and we don't just work with one lender, we work with multiple lenders so that if one doesn't work out, we have a backup to backup to backup. So we want to make sure that you're getting exactly what you need and how you need it. Second, you gotta make sure you have funding. Number two, you gotta have architectural plans. Now, with Colt Buildings, we have several different entities. We have Colt Buildings, Colt Contractors, and Colt Engineering. Okay. Now, with Colt Design and Engineering, you got to make sure that everything we do is with typically with steel structures. Okay, steel structures are different than your typical wood structures. Number one, we can build in any zip code in US. We don't have no issues with coding. There's a difference between residential code and commercial code. Now, residential code and commercial codes are totally two different beasts. Everything's ran off of something called the IBC, which is your International Building Code. Every building department across the US operates off of a different type of coding system. And there's also city code, and then there's also county code. Okay, so they're all going to have different coding systems and have different requirements, different type of permitting processes, different licensing requirements of different municipalities. There are so many variations to this cat, and we got to figure out how we're going to skin it. Therefore, the first step that the bank is going to want to see, they're going to see your plans. They're going to see architectural plans. They're going to see your structural plans. They're going to see everything. Now, every state, every code, every county is different. Every state's different. Now, in some states, they require, like Florida, they require stamped and sealed architectural and full MEPs and structural and foundation plans to pull permits. The whole shebang, you got to have stamped and sealed MEPs. Question is, what are MEPs? Those stand for mechanical, electrical, plumbing, meaning that when you lay out a floor plan within your house, you're going to have your mechanical plan, which means your mechanical, your plumbing, your electrical, your HVAC. Basically, they're going to need to be stamped and sealed by Florida code, okay, because of the hurricanes and they get a lot of water down there. So they're going to, and what a builder or one of our contractors, what in-house, which is what they're going to do, is going to go out, project manager, and go out to you, and he's going to get subs to electrician, the plumber, and they get bids. How much it costs to bid it out for your project. They can't do that without seeing a set of plans. The bank, even themselves, will not finance to you unless they see plans. Now, they'll give you a pre-authorization letter, but that is not a pre-approval. Okay, there's two different things. They'll give you a pre-authorization letter. Yes, basically, based on your financials, you could afford this. Could, but not, are we willing to finance it? Without plans, they're not going to finance it. A builder will not build your home without a set of plans. Now, very different. Everything we do with Colt Buildings, we do architectural plans that are designed for steel structures or log homes, not for stick frame. totally different beast. So therefore, if you're going to do a stick frame home, you need to work with somebody, a professional engineer or a professional architect who's licensed to do those type of plans. But everything we do is catered towards cold form steel, clear span steel, red iron, okay? And we can talk about the different types of steel, tubular steel, we can talk about different gauges, we can talk about standing seam roof systems, we can talk about elevations. There's a lot of elements that go into it, okay? And that's what we're trying to do here, is try to educate and guide you along the way. Everybody says, it's funny that people say, my county requires stamped and sealed plans. But it's funny because when I call the county and I ask them, do you need stamped and sealed architectural plans? They're like, no, we just need stamped and sealed structural foundational, which is fine. We know that. We try to save our clients thousands of dollars on the front side. Okay, so you don't have to go out and get a stamped and sealed structural foundational plans, because we use pre-manufactured steel buildings. So therefore, we try to save you a ton of money on the front side by just getting you the architectural lined up so that we can figure out the bid is, so we get the financing, so that in the first, second, third, fourth draw, on the first draw, we can order the stamped and sealed plan so we can pour the concrete. Okay, so therefore, when it comes about draw systems, people are like, what are draw systems? Basically, that means the bank is going to cut you money in different type of draw systems. That means they're going to cut you money in, you're going to get first draw is going to be used for, they're going to get, say you take 500,000 or you're going to take $1 million, whatever. The first draw, the bank's going to cut you 100 grand for clearing the land, excavation, getting the land prepped to build a home, the site. It's called site prep. Okay, that's the first draw. And also they'll order, and that first draw will also order the stamped and sealed plans to get ready to pour the concrete. In the second phase, that's when they'll start pouring the footers, the concrete pad, do your plumbing, they'll do your electrical, they'll get everything ready. Okay, and within the second and third draw, that's when we'll order the building and anchor bolt the building to the concrete pad. Okay, so, and then in the fourth and fifth draw, that's what we'll do, the internal framing, the sheetrock, the insulation, your flooring system, and that's how this whole process kind of runs together. And everything is dependent on your land. It's dependent on where your zip code is. The IBC code is catered towards two things. International Building Code goes towards two things. It goes towards wind load, your wind, how much wind is coming side to side, and your snow load, how much weight can your building hold. Now, I have lived all across the world. I have lived in Japan. I've been very blessed. I'm prior military. I've lived in, I've been through California, lived in Texas, Colorado, Kansas. I'm from Florida, originally from Daytona Beach, Florida, and Orlando. Went to college and grad school in South Carolina. Did training in Norfolk, did training in Georgia. And you know what? You get a lot of different type of weather all across the country. And I said, what if we can use one structure that would just pretty much knock everything out of the park? And that's why we use cold form steel, or we use our red iron steel structures, because it really caters towards every code. Okay, when you're using stick structures, then you're having to rely on somebody in that state, one of my partners in that state, to make sure that sub puts up that home correctly. Well, if they don't, and we have structural issues, then you might have to tear the whole home down. And we don't want to do that. So I would rather use a commercial grade steel for your residential home. So you're basically going overkill, and you're getting a higher quality home. And we know that homes can be standing for 50 years. You get 50-year warranties on all our cold form steel structures. You can go cold form steel. You can go with a standing seam roof system, which you can go up to 24 gauge. You can do 26 gauge on a steel roof system, which is a superior roof system. Or you could do a corrugated roof system, which is just fine. But if you're going to go with a home, I would go with a standing seam roof system, okay? Because, and please do your research. If you go to coltbuildings.com, and you go to all our pages, we have building education. There's a ton of videos on our website where you can go there and get information. And the more you read, the more videos you'll watch, I think you guys become a lot more comfortable with the building process. That's why that website is up there. And again, that's coltbuildings.com. And research and read. The more information you gather, the more information you have, the more knowledgeable you're able to build. That gives you, this is a big transaction, and this is a big commitment, especially a big financial commitment. So therefore, we want to make sure that you understand how the process works. Okay. A lot of people ask, here's another thing. A lot of people ask, okay, and this is a data dump. Okay. So you guys know, this is just a data dump. I'm just throwing a whole bunch of stuff out there. And we're going to talk a little bit about insulation. A lot of people ask, what type of insulation? Well, you can insulate these buildings any way you want, but that really doesn't give you a really direct and defined answer in regards to how am I going to insulate my home. And I've talked to so many contractors, a ton of manufacturers, and we just come to this conclusion. Go closed cell spray foam across the board. Do 4 to 5 inches on your roof, 3 to 4 inches on your side. Call it a day, okay? Because you're going to seal up the building. You're going to get great efficiency. After 3 years, you're going to get your money back out of that spray foam, just with energy efficiency, okay? Because you have something called thermal transfer. And when that means basically how does the heat transfer into the building versus out. That's where airflow comes in and out of your home. Okay, that's why older homes are drafty and they feel colder than what they should be. That's why we want to seal up the envelope, seal it up with spray foam, and then you're good to go. Okay, everyone is going to say, hey, there's pros and cons to everything, but for me, what we see in the industry, spray foam is the way to go. And we like to take more of a commercial approach to your homes, just because you're going to have a higher. Obviously, and people even ask this question, what's stronger, wood or steel? Okay, when's the last time you saw a skyscraper built with wood? When's the last time you saw a skyscraper going up 20 or 30 stories with wood? It's all steel, it's all iron. Everything's done with iron and steel, okay? So the structural integrity, when's the last time you can go 100-foot span with no poles in the middle with wood? When's the last time you saw a horse arena with wood? Everything that spans 120 feet. It's all steel, it's all iron. So at the end of the day, that's why we use those type of structures, because number one, integrity. Everything we want to do is with integrity. Number two, you got to make sure that you can get financing. And a lot of finance departments will not finance a stick built or a pole barn, because there's a pole barn and the risk is too high. So the comps just ain't going to make any sense. All right. So there is so much that goes into the building process, but that's why we're here to help consult and to help guide you along the process, so you're not making a terrible mistake. And you got to make sure that with everything we do, we cater towards steel. So we have in-house, we're a one-stop shop, meaning we will help you get financing. If you need land, we work with realtors all across the country in your local area that will help you find land. Okay. When it comes to design, we have our in-house architectural design team. Okay, that'll help you with that. We even have Colt engineering firm that will stamp and seal the structural and foundational plans if you need that per your code. And if you don't know, go down to your courthouse, go down to your building department, ask them. Don't ask the people at the front desk, ask the actual engineers or the superintendent exactly what you need and what you don't need, because every parcel ID is different. For example, a lot of people tend to under budget their homes, and it gets them in trouble. And here's another thing because of the design phase. If you know your budget is $500,000, $2 million, $3 million, $250,000, $300,000, whatever, $100,000, whatever it may be, make sure you're designing something that caters towards that. And that's where our designers will design whatever you want, but without a budget and without a target focus in mind, it's going to be very tough for them they'll design what you want. And if you're designing the Taj Mahal and your budget is for a mobile home, then there's obviously, it's going to waste more time, and it's not going to we're not going to be able to execute exactly what you want. We want to help you to build your home, but the budget and the plans have got to marry up. And the great thing is, we don't charge for change orders. We don't charge for going back to the drawing board and fixing it. If you go to any engineering firm, any architectural firm, they will. And we're not going to charge you 15, 20 grand for architectural design. We're not. Okay, so at the end of the day, we want to encourage you to do your research. We love supporting, especially veterans, prior military or military, active duty military. I'm served in the military for years, had 2 combat tours in Iraq. It was an honor to serve as an Army captain and a U.S. Navy officer. At the end of the day, I am in this industry because I love it. I love to hunt. I love to fish. I love to be active. I love to snowboard. And everything we love to do is caters towards a lifestyle. So we're not going to try to fit a floor plan and get you to fit your lifestyle to a floor plan. We're going to take a floor plan and custom design everything to your lifestyle. If you got 3 or 4 kids and you want more bathrooms, this is why people go towards a Barndominium style. This is why they go towards the steel structures is number one, they get warranties on our buildings. You get insurance breaks because it's fire retardant. You're using steel, you're not using wood. There's a lot of benefits, and it's a higher quality product. So you get what you pay for, and then you're getting something that will last for literally generations. Okay. So therefore, my name is Juan. I'm the owner and president of Colt Buildings. And if you haven't found out, my son is named Colt, who I love dearly. He's a 2-year-old, and keeps me on my toes. So you guys check us on the web at coltbuildings.com. Check out coltcontractors.com, and we would love to earn your business. You guys have a blessed day.